Marie, a young woman from New Zealand, had always harboured a secret longing. It wasn't for bungee jumping or exploring the Milford Sound, it was for something entirely different. The taste of a perfect croissant, the aroma of freshly brewed coffee in a Parisian cafe, the experience of authentic French cuisine. Paris, the city of lights and culinary delights, beckoned her. From her childhood, she had devoured cookbooks dedicated to French gastronomy. Julia Child became her culinary hero. Each recipe, each picture, fueled her desire to one day experience it all firsthand. Finally, the time had come. Marie had saved, planned and dreamed, and now she found herself in the heart of Paris, ready for her culinary adventure to begin. The energy of the city was intoxicating. Every street corner seemed to whisper stories of food and romance. With a map in hand and excitement bubbling in her chest, Marie set off, ready to lose herself in the flavours of France. The aroma hit Marie first. It was the intoxicating scent of baking bread, yeast and butter, combining to create a symphony of deliciousness. She followed her nose, her pace quickening as she approached a small boulangerie. The windows steamed with the promise of warmth and flaky goodness. Inside, the shelves overflowed with golden croissants, pain au chocolat and crusty baguettes. Marie's eyes widened at the sheer variety. It was a feast for the senses. The baker, a man with flour-dusted hands and a cheerful smile, greeted her with a friendly "Bonjour, madame." She pointed to a perfectly golden croissant, its layers glistening under the warm light of the shop. "Un croissant, s'il vous plaît," she said, her French accent still a bit rough around the edges, but her enthusiasm clear. Clutching her prize, Marie stepped out into the crisp Parisian air. She took a bite, the flaky pastry shattering beneath her teeth, the buttery flavour exploding on her tongue. It was pure heaven. She continued her stroll, the taste of the croissant lingering on her lips, the promise of a classic French breakfast awaiting her at a nearby cafe. The Marché des Enfants Rouges, Paris's oldest covered market, buzzed with life. The air was thick with the scents of fresh produce, herbs, and most intoxicatingly for Marie, cheese. Stalls overflowed with colourful fruits and vegetables, but it was the cheese that captivated Marie's attention. She approached a stall piled high with wheels and wedges of cheese in all shapes and sizes. The cheesemonger, a man with a twinkle in his eye and an encyclopedic knowledge of his wares, greeted her with a warm smile. "Bonjour, madame. What can I tempt you with today?" he asked, his voice booming across the bustling market. "I'd love to try some camembert and roquefort, please," Marie replied, her eyes sparkling with anticipation. The cheesemonger expertly cut her generous wedges of each, explaining their unique flavours and textures. He described the creamy richness of the camembert, a cheese from the Normandy region, and the sharp, tangy bite of the roquefort, a blue cheese from the south of France. Marie savoured each bite, the contrasting flavours a testament to the diversity of French cheesemaking. The creamy camembert melted on her tongue, while the roquefort provided a sharp, salty counterpoint. It was a sensory experience, a journey through different regions of France, all captured in the flavours of these exceptional cheeses. The inviting aroma of slowly simmered beef and red wine drew Marie into a charming bistro tucked away on a quiet side street. The restaurant, with its checkered tablecloths and dark wooden chairs, exuded a cosy Parisian charm that was impossible to resist. The menu, handwritten on a chalkboard, boasted classic French dishes, but it was the bœuf bourguignon that caught Marie's eye. The waiter, a man with a neatly trimmed moustache and a twinkle in his eye, explained that the bœuf bourguignon was a specialty of the house, made with tender beef, slow-cooked in Burgundy wine with pearl onions, mushrooms and bacon. He described the dish with such passion, his hands gesturing expressively, that Marie knew she had to try it. The bœuf bourguignon arrived, a steaming pot of savoury goodness. The beef, incredibly tender, melted in her mouth, infused with the rich flavours of the wine and the earthiness of the mushrooms. Each bite was an explosion of flavour, a testament to the French culinary tradition of slow cooking and layering flavours. As Marie savoured her meal, She imagined the generations of French families who had enjoyed this dish, the recipe passed down through the ages. It was more than just a meal, it was a connection to the history and culture of France. Section 5. Burgundy on a plate. An evening of indulgence. For her special evening meal, Marie had chosen a restaurant renowned for its classic French cuisine. The dining room, with its white tablecloths, soft lighting and hushed conversations, exuded an air of refined elegance. The menu presented on heavy parchment paper was a testament to French culinary artistry. Marie's heart was set on the coq au vin, another dish hailing from the Burgundy region. The waiter, impeccably dressed and possessing an air of quiet efficiency, described the dish with reverence. He explained that the chicken was marinated overnight in Burgundy wine with herbs and spices, then slowly braised to achieve a melt-in-your-mouth tenderness. When the coq au vin arrived, it was a masterpiece of culinary artistry. The chicken, bathed in a rich velvety sauce, was incredibly tender, its flavour enhanced by the complexity of the wine and the subtle hints of herbs. Each bite was an indulgence, a symphony of flavour that danced on Marie's palate. To conclude her meal, Marie couldn't resist the allure of a classic crème brûlée. The crisp, caramelized sugar shell shattered under her spoon, revealing a smooth, creamy custard beneath. It was the perfect ending to a perfect meal, a sweet note to a culinary symphony. Section 6. The sweet conclusion, tarte tatin. As Marie strolled through the city later that evening, the lights of Paris twinkling around her, she felt a pang of longing for one last taste of French sweetness. She ducked into a small patisserie, its windows filled with colourful displays of tarts, cakes and pastries. Her eyes fell upon a tarte tatin, its golden pastry glistening under the warm light of the shop. The tarte tatin, with its caramelized apples and flaky crust, was the perfect embodiment of French pastry. Simple yet elegant, rustic yet refined. She took a bite, the sweet tart flavours of the apples, the buttery richness of the pastry and the hint of caramel all blending together in perfect harmony. It was a taste of pure joy, a sweet ending to a day filled with culinary discoveries. Section 7. Beyond the plate, Parisian charm. But Marie's culinary journey through Paris was more than just about the food. It was about the experience, the ambiance, the Parisian charm that infused every aspect of dining. It was the friendly banter with the baker, the passionate explanations of the cheesemonger, the cosy atmosphere of the bistro, and the elegant ambiance of the renowned restaurant. It was the feeling of being transported to another time and place, of savouring the simple pleasure of a meal well prepared and enjoyed in good company. It was the realization that food, in France, was more than just sustenance. It was an art form, a way of life, a celebration of the senses. Section 8. The heart of French cuisine, quality and tradition. Throughout her culinary adventure, Marie noticed a common thread that ran through all the dishes she tasted, a dedication to quality ingredients and traditional cooking methods. From the butter used in the croissants to the beef slow-cooked in Burgundy wine, every ingredient was chosen with care, every dish prepared with a respect for tradition. It was this commitment to quality and tradition that elevated French cuisine to an art form. It was the understanding that the simplest dishes, when made with the finest ingredients and time-honored techniques, could be transformed into culinary masterpieces. Section 9. A culinary journey, more than just food. As Marie sat at a cafe table, sipping a cup of coffee and watching the world go by, she reflected on her culinary journey through Paris. It had been more than just a series of meals. It had been a sensory experience, a cultural immersion, a journey of discovery. She had tasted the flavours of France, experienced the passion of its chefs and witnessed the importance of food in French culture. It was a journey that had touched her heart as much as her palate, leaving her with a newfound appreciation for the art of French cuisine. Section 10. A Kiwi transformed Marie's Parisian awakening. The memory of her Parisian culinary adventure lingered long after Marie returned home to New Zealand. She carried with her the flavours of France, the warmth of its people, and the inspiration to recreate a touch of Parisian magic in her own kitchen. Her journey had awakened a passion for food, a desire to explore new flavours, and a newfound confidence in her own culinary abilities. She had discovered that food was more than just sustenance. It was a way to connect with people, to experience different cultures, and to create memories that would last a lifetime. Marie, the young woman who had once only dreamed of Paris, had returned home transformed, her heart and her palate forever touched by the magic of French cuisine.